Howdy team, Brad the Rover here. It's about 7 a.m., 20 miles east of Glenwood Springs. Spent the night out here after a busy day in Grand Junction yesterday, getting the truck packed up, but thought I would just take a few minutes and run you guys through the kitchen setup before I get rolling. So before we go through all the gear in the actual back of the truck here, I keep food storage in the back seat. Just kind of a little bit easier for us while we're traveling, keeps the camper from getting too overcrowded. So right here you can see I've got a little set power fridge. I think it's 20 liters or so. It was $200 and it has been phenomenal for the price. We usually just plug it into the 12-volt plugs up on the dash. Let's see what we got. Let's do some raspberries, breakfast burrito, and some ibuprofen. Did a throwing competition yesterday for some Highland Games stuff, and I am sore. Normally on top of this, I also keep a large Tupperware. That's where we keep chips, bread, things like that. We use a Tupperware because in the past we've had a couple of mice manage to get into the truck and cause a bit of a ruckus. But that usually all just kind of sits back here, nice and easy to grab. Just close her up, grab our breakfast, and head back to the back. So starting back here, we'll start with the water jug over here to the left. It's just a Scepter 5-gallon jug. We just bungee cord it to the side here to keep it solid. The Rotopax, 2-gallon Rotopax lives in here full time. That's just kind of like emergency water if you're in a bad situation. But this 5 gallons usually gets us through a long weekend, no problem, whether it's hot or cold. We like it because you can undo this kind of top one and just have the little hole. And what we'll do is we'll use this little $10 water pump that we found on Amazon. It fits perfectly, hold on one second here. Fits perfectly inside of that little hole. So it doesn't damage the threads or anything like that on the Scepter. But it sits in there nice and snug. And then if you need to fill up a water bottle or get some water for cooking or something like that, you just push the button on top, dispenses water nice and easy. When you're done, just turn it back off, and we found that to be very, very convenient when it's time to clean up or while you're cooking, you just need a little extra water for pasta, something like that. So that's what we're doing for our water. All right, as far as contents that live in this back cubby here, kind of hard to do one-handed, so I just kind of pulled it all out to show you guys. I keep this small propane tank. It's honestly been great. More than enough fuel for us for a long weekend, even if we're doing a lot of cooking. I also keep one of these just kind of old school 1-gallon green tanks. That's just as an emergency backup in case I forget to top this off or we have less than we think. We also keep our pots and pans in that cubby. This thing's kind of cool. It's from GSI. It's kind of like a Russian doll situation. So if we open this up, you'll see we've got a frying pan, no stick, Teflon. We got a lid that fits the frying pan and the biggest pot. I believe it's got a built-in strainer too. Yeah, I don't know if you can see those little slots there. Then we got the smaller lid for our smaller pot. And inside of that sits these 4 things. It's a bowl and a cup. So if you pop the lid off, you got the inside. You can pull that out. You got this neoprene covered cup, right? So if you're doing coffee or tea or something like that in the morning. And this, just a nice little bowl. Get in there with a spoon or fork or whatever you know, depending on what you're cooking. So you got 4 of those. And then you've also got your smaller pot. There. And then you've got your 4 plates, all color-coded to match the cups. They're nothing special, they're just cheap plastic, but they definitely get the job done. And then you've got your bigger pot. There we go. Same as the others. And then the actual container that they all sit in is waterproof. So it's great for after you're done cooking, you can actually fill it with soapy water and wash everything in it, dry it out, and put everything back in it. So it's a nice, compact, one system does it all, everything you really need. The pots themselves, you've got this little handle that comes with it that kind of collapses. It slots in. So if you look right here, you click it up into the pot and it locks in like that. And you've got the handle to move everything around and do whatever you got to do. Then you can really quickly switch it to the other pot or the pan as you're going back and forth, so you never burn your hands, but you only need the one handle to just keep everything light and as compact as possible. All right, we'll move on to the stove next. I keep that in this bottom section of the box. Just slide it on out of here. It is a 2-burner stove, kind of like your classic Coleman's. It's just a GSI brand. It's a Selkirk 460. It's been good, no issues at all. Just, standard 2-burner stove. You got your windshields that you can clip up into the lid. 2 burners, click igniter. More fire, less fire. Kind of not much to say about that. It's worked great for us. Cooks exactly as you would expect it to. Closes up nice and easy. And then when you're done with it, just kind of slide it back into this lower cubby. All right, in the top of the box, keep this Goal Zero crush lantern. Packed down nice and small, easy enough to charge. I've got a carabiner connected up here on the door. So when I have it open, I can hang this up here and it lights up my cooking platform on the tailgate so I can see what's going on with the stove, make sure everything's cooking properly. Just a little thing, but definitely convenient. We also in here have some paper towels because it's the kitchen, got to clean up. And then we also have this Tupperware. We just have full of condiments, coffee, hot sauce. It's just a nice little thing to have because everyone likes their food a little different. And that's just a nice, easy way to hold it all. Next, we've got the actual tote. Let's pull this thing out and we'll start running through it. All right, this black tote is where we keep everything else. We'll start with the front. Coffee, got a couple of mugs, color-coded so we know whose is whose. We've got this French press in here. This has been super convenient, make it enough for 1 or 2 people very comfortably. Brew it fresh, hot, ready to go in the morning. We also, some mornings we do cold starts. If we're getting up at 4 a.m., going skinning or something like that with the skis. Don't really feel like getting everything all set up and cooking a fancy meal. We'll just kind of grab some granola bars and go. So if that's the case, I've got this old MSR Pocket Rocket from my backpacking setup. Just a nice little single burner that you can put the French press on top of, and a small butane canister to go with that. So you've got a quick, easy morning going there. We also just keep this bowl here for mixing stuff for when we're prepping meals, never know. And then a cork little pad for if you've got something hot you got to put somewhere. And just a can of Pam spray just to keep everything from sticking. All right, this middle cubby, just kind of keep it clean cubby, if you will. We've got Sea to Summit kitchen sink. This is great. It just folds open. You can put up to 20 liters of water in it. If you got a big group, you got a lot to clean up. This is a phenomenal way to store water and use it to clean. We also just have some more paper towels, just standard kitchen wipes to just kind of keep everything clean, wipe it down as you're going. This is a little pop-up container we use as a trash can. So we keep some grocery store bags and stuff like that in there. You can use all your use it to hold trimmings and stuff like that while you're preparing meals. Wrappers, just usual garbage. We also have a little bottle of hand sanitizer and a couple of kitchen trash bags with some pairs of gloves wrapped around them. We keep this in here in case we get to a campsite that's a little dirty. We just got to go around picking up trash. This one's actually in pretty good shape, luckily. But it's just nice to have, just, keep it clean and respect the outdoors. All right, and the back cubby, we've got just a kitchen towel, some napkins. We keep this Eureka skillet. It's been super convenient. It's got this little lid that's really unnecessary, but it's a nice little cutting board material on the backside, so that's good for prepping veg and stuff like that. And the skillet itself fits perfectly onto our stove, and it's great for, pancakes, bacon, just anything you can really think of. We also have in here this little can opener. I think the company's OXO, OXO. It's great. It's just, just can opener, bottle opener, everything you need in a nice compact package. And then we've got these two packages here. This one is our knives, and this one is kind of the rest of the kitchen. So let me open those up and I'll run you through them. All right, this first container is the knife set. So we've got 3 knives. This one's serrated, just kind of your standard butcher knife, and this little paring knife. Sit nice and slow here. They've got their sheaths, so you don't have to worry about anything rubbing or cutting anything when it's not in use. We got camp suds and a little washcloth, and it also comes with this folding cutting board, so that helps with meal prep as well. You got plenty of surface to get yourself ready for your meal. It's been great. No issues. The knives hold a good edge. You know, they're not as good as the stuff you got at home, but when you're out in the backcountry, they are more than good enough. All right, and this is the bigger of those 2 cases. This is like the full kitchen, if you will. Got a little bit of spice up here. Got a spatula. This is a whisk. It looks kind of weird, but it works. Kind of slides out, and these little things down here are your whisk. A big serving spoon and a grater / zester, plus another kitchen knife for preparing meals. On this side, we've got forks, knives, spoons, a small set of tongs, some olive oil, and some more spices. And then on this side, we've got a little scrub pad for cleaning, a lighter, an extra pot holder / grabber just in case we're needing 2 at the same time, more knives, forks, spoons, a washcloth, and yet again another cutting board. We've got a little bit of redundancy here, but the way it packs, it's so tight and compact, very convenient. We feel it's worth doing. You'll notice a lot of our stuff is GSI. Long story short, I've worked in the outdoor industry for a long time, and I had a pro deal, and they gave me a screaming deal on some of this stuff. It's great stuff. I wouldn't say don't get it, but there are competitors out there who make stuff that's just as good, if not better. Shop around, be thoughtful, but don't sleep on GSI. All right, everyone, that is the kitchen. I will try to put links in the description below for as many products as I can find. If you have any questions, just put them down there in the comments, and I will try to get back to you as quick as I can, try to help you out. But hopefully this is some good inspiration for setting up a kitchen of your own. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.